Jaipur, city in India, I think. Thornbridge Brewery, Jaipur. We've got original and double dry hop version. Also an Indian city. When I first heard about this beer, I assumed that it was basically an English style IPA, and they used the name Jaipur because that's an Indian city. And you know the history of English IPA goes back to ships going to India, and that's the story or whatever. Anyway, I haven't actually ever tried this beer, and that is woeful for me as an Englishman. So I'm sorry about that. I've been into beer for quite some time and just never got round to drinking Jaipur. Anyway, essentially, this kicked off the British craft beer revolution of bringing back IPAs and doing modern stuff with beer and craft breweries. This is one of those kind of moments. It's a bit like the Sierra Nevada pale ale or whatever of British craft beer. So they took the English IPA, perhaps the malt bill, and they married it with those American hops, which were, you know, going crazy out of the west coast of America with their big kind of citrusy, grapefruity, tropical fruit flavors. And they thought, why can't we have a bit of that in England? So I imagine, and I don't know this, but I imagine they kind of thought, well, IPA is English. It's also something to do with India. We're going to grab some American hops and we're going to reclaim some of it a little bit as an English beer. So I think they've called it Jaipur as a kind of nod to the old English IPA, even though this is more leaning towards an American IPA. So this is the 2005 beer, the original recipe, I guess, or close to it if they've been tweaking it. And this one is just a cult classic, I am told. It's bottle conditioned. I didn't know that, so I've shook it up a little bit, so apologies, the pour's going to be a bit cloudy, my bad. They're both 5.9%. This one is the double dry hopped version. I imagine that this one is going to be very juicy, big aroma, probably much closer to the modern day styles. So this is more possibly leaning towards kind of a West Coast IPA, but with a British twist. And this one is probably maybe even a nod to the kind of more juicier beers. But let's find out. Let's compare the two. Let's crack them open and see what they're saying. Try and leave a bit of sediment in the bottle because I did shake it up. Right. I did pour that one a little bit more aggressively out of the can, so I can't really compare the heads. But they look very similar heads in terms of colour, very white heads. You can immediately see the difference in the body of these beers and the dry hopping. So this is double dry hopped. I think that just means that they've doubled the amount of dry hopping that they've done, not that they've just done 2 cycles of dry hops. So this one is hazy. Somewhat, hazy because of the sheer volume of hops, and this one is a lot cleaner and brighter. So I'll give the OG a sniff first. Big on the grapefruit, orange peel. Perhaps a touch of pine there. Lots of citrus coming out of that. Smells quite bright. Smells very inviting. I imagine when this first came out in England, people were like, "Whoa, what on earth is that?" Because the IPAs we have in England, the traditional ones, a bit of hedgerow, a bit of fruit, a bit of earthiness, blah blah blah, and then this comes along and it's like much like a grapefruit does when you first bite into it. It's like zing. That's the zing of an American hop in your nose. So I bet that was impressive. Let's see what the double dry hop version says. Smells juicier and smells a little bit softer. It smells brighter. That's got that kind of zing that I was talking about. And this one, yeah, this smells almost a bit sweeter, a bit softer, more rounded. Yeah, more tropical as well, I'd say. Like there's still the citrus. It's less grapefruit. Yeah, more kind of leaning towards tropical, a bit sweet. So let's see how they taste. Yeah, I love that. I've always been a big fan of West Coast IPAs. This isn't. I wouldn't say this is a Westie. This is an English IPA with Westie hops in it. So there's a bit more kind of a malt backbone there, a little bit more sweetness. It's not like super light, dry kind of West Coasty. There is a bit of body in that. Yeah, and that sweetness goes well into the grapefruit, the orange peel, the little bit of pithiness there. Um, yeah, that's a beautiful beer. Wow, why did I wait so long to try that? Mm, very good, very good. Okay, let's see what the modernization of this beer has done to it. I imagine it's going to be softer and juicier, but let's see. Wow, yeah. Oh, so much softer, much more rounded. There's not that kind of crisp bitterness that this has. Um, it is much a juicier beer. Um, I'm getting less grapefruit, less orange peel, and I'm getting more of a kind of like tropical medley. And there's something in it. I'm trying to pick it. Lychee. There is a yeah. It's kind of like I guess if you had a bowl of mango and lychee, that's what I'm getting. So mango up front, and then lychee in the kind of in the back of the tongue. Um, yeah, completely. Yeah, big change from the original, from that double dry hop. I don't know if that's to do with biotransformation or I don't know how much they've changed the recipe, but both beautiful beers, just quite different actually. I'm quite surprised. I thought that this might just be like a bigger version of this, and the double dry hop might just round it a bit more. But no, you've got different flavors in here. Mm. Yeah, now I've tasted it. I come back to the aroma. There is the sweetness is coming from mango. Mm. Yeah, very different actually. I guess I can sort of see where the lychee comes from on this side, because this has that kind of grapefruit and orange peel, and then there's something at the edge of it, and it's kind of, you know, that zing, but it's almost like It's close to lychee. Yeah, wow, just two wonderful beers. Another absolute gulper, a double gulper at 5.9%. I'm gonna have to drink both of these in full. So merry me today. It is a Thursday. It's the midweek weekend. No, I don't know. Any excuse really, isn't it? What can I say about this? Yeah, I'd recommend both of these beers. They're both very, very nice, slightly different. This is more modern, more juicy. So if you're into that kind of thing, you'll love this. This one, I've always thought was a classic English IPA, and I had never tried it. But it's not a classic English IPA. It's full of American hops, but it is kind of a more leaning towards an English malt bill. A little bit backbone, a little bit of sweetness there, married together with those American hops. So it is something, it's not just copy pasting from America. They have done something, English, British with this beer. And I love the name. I'm South Asian, and shout out to Jaipur. I think that's in Rajasthan. I think it's Rajasthan. Big up the Rajasthan Royals or whatever. So Institution, fantastic follow up to the Institution. You got King and Prince, both great beers. Grab them when you see them and enjoy. Cheers. Ooh, which one? I don't know at the same time.